I'll be right with you. I'm just putting out tweets. Woo! Hopefully that'll be alright for background sound. We can always change it. Bam! Hello! Welcome! I'm BoredGamer. Updated my background footage. Zin has done a new streaming background video. So thank you very much, Zin. Appreciate it. I suppose it's what I pay her for. I hope you are all doing well. This fine day 9 at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Yeah, that sounds right. What are we getting today? Is it Misk? We're getting a new ship today, probably, and we can talk a bit more about that in a minute. I think everyone's more than aware of the rumours and the leaks and stuff like that. And we will be seeing that new ship in a couple of hours. So we can talk about that a bit. There's obviously the Spartan, which is that Anvil APC that's been straight to flyable released. There's the Argo Raft, the, reinforced armoured freight transport, I think. That's also been released on Argo Day. So we've got armoured APC with the Spartan. We've got small to mid-scale, very specific cargo transport with the Argo Raft. So it specialises in taking 32 SCU like cargo containers, like you would find at a shipyard, that sort of thing around, because that's going to be the smallest size of sort of cargo container that you'll get it from, like not the smallest size cargo container. That's the wrong way of putting it. It's the It's the smallest large cargo container. It's going to be the smallest boxes that the Hull C can carry, for example. But yeah, it's a proper freight container it can take. They're going to be big ones. They're going to be bigger ones than 32 SCU, but the Raft can take 3 of these 32 SCU cargo containers. In fact, I know a good way of showing this by showing this. So let's bring this up on the monitor. You got your Raft. You got your cargo container. Bam! Like a pro. Perfect. So it can take 3 of those. And it's got a little tractor beam on the back, so it can maneuver those into the correct area. Load of blank space for some reason on my screen. And then you can see here like more of a shipping yard. And yeah, you could have loads of these boxes in these eventually, but at the moment these are static. And when we get the cargo overhaul, which is coming next year, we should see these used more readily. And you'd be like, okay, well, it's 96 SCU. What's the sort of point of it when we've got loads of other cargo haulers? Well, this one's good in the fact that it can very quickly and rapidly drop off these cargo containers and pick up these cargo containers and move them. So it's going to be very useful at actual shipyards to make sense for the lore and the game to how stuff gets moved around. But also it's going to be very good for small to mid-scale loading and unloading because, well, in the future, loading and unloading is going to have time and cost associated with it. And if you can do it incredibly quickly with this, well, that's fantastic. Do you see what I mean? And if you'd like to ask any questions during the live stream, question in brackets, we can sort of change topic, have a bit of a chat about whatever, really. Obviously, 3.15.1's out. We're in the middle of the IAE, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and 3.16 is on the horizon as well. Within a month, we should have it in our hands in at least open PTU would be my expectation. I don't see how they're going to get a live build the 3.16 out. I mean, it's certainly possible 3.16 isn't a huge patch this time around, and the end of year patches aren't. Sometimes they're big and broken, and sometimes they're small and functional, and sometimes they're small and not functional. So I'm hoping that we have a nice functional, playable game at the end of the year, and I'm okay with it being an open PTU if it's not ready for live. But open PTU is good because we can all play it if we want to play it. Current HOTAS or HOSAS setup. So, I recommend the Virtual Constellation Delta if you can get them. Virtual make fantastic sort of throttles and sticks. And the Constellation Delta is the best I've used. They do have some other ones now, so you might want to check them out. They're quite expensive. If you're going the cheaper option, then Thrustmaster 16,000. T16,000 is pretty solid as a cheaper choice. Are we excited for MISC today? I am. So we're getting what we're assuming is going to be a MISC exploration ship. Although some people said that it's MISC exploration, but also has refinery-based stuff with it as well. And I think that's just sort of like flavor text to say, look, it's a expedition exploration ship that can go a huge distance. It's sort of like this can be self-sufficient for a huge period of time and keep on going. As Darth Omicron has arrived, are you prepared for another year of lockdown and limited contact with humans? Well, I hope not. I hope not that basically they're just going to go, no, we're not going to do lockdowns for just all reasons. But I'll listen to the advice from my government. I'll comply with it. I mean, I might complain about it, and I might voice more official complaints about it. I mean, I'm very pro democracy and pro the tools of democracy to get the change you want, sort of in a civil, non-violent, non-threatening way. But yeah, I'm also hoping that there is no further major lockdowns in the UK or around the world. To be honest, I mean, I understand that it's necessary in some places potentially. You've asked me a question where I don't really want to give hard answers because I don't want to offend anyone or break any YouTube rules. Was the whole piece still solo, or have they made it two-person now? That is a good question. So I suspect you'll be able to run the hull B with another person that will be able to do maintenance on the ship and will also be able to manage the cargo and that sort of stuff. So that's because the hull B is larger than the Argo Raft, and the Argo Raft is two-person, although that's because it's got a turret on it. But I would expect that the hull B could be able to be run two-person. That would be my expectation. Purple Support are A+. Yes, they're absolutely fantastic company. From my experiences with them. Right. What have we got? What questions have we got? Anything interesting? Well, it doesn't matter if it's interesting. I'll answer anyway. Maybe I'll be interesting. Hope things are going well for you, bud. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, life's pretty good, Dig Dug. Thank you very much. Life is ups and downs. I'm doing a lot better. I use a minimal amount of Twitter. And I do respond and chat to people on there occasionally. I don't... And I post my videos and stuff on there. And go, look, I am streaming. But that's about it. Where's the Titan exosuit? Give it to me, Will. I know, right? So, I think the exosuits, the Titan suits, are one of the things I'm most excited about. Because I love that sort of missing step between sort of anti-ship ground support, and Titan suits give you a lot of sort of anti-vehicle, anti-ship potentially, sort of super heavy infantry. Always love Star Citizen, but 3.15 has been a total train wreck for me. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I can't say your name. I have no idea how to pronounce any of those letters, especially in that order. So apologies for that. I'm having a great time in 3.15.1. Has been a little more unstable for me. And I literally mean a little more unstable. Like, I will get a crash every hour rather than every 4 hours, sort of thing. I need to play Cyberpunk again. I think they've done a lot of updates and stuff. Because I played it and did a full playthrough of Cyberpunk when it first came out. And that was when I had my old PC, so I didn't have the ray tracing and the ability to run it in 4K properly. And when it was super buggy. So I'll probably do another playthrough soon. Maybe over Christmas. Do attrition weapons still any damage shields and systems, or can they damage a ship proper now? I think they damage shields and damage component. I can't remember how attrition weapons currently work. So it's attrition weapons. It's distortion weapons. You mean? I think. I've not done a test of distortion weapons for a while. One of the reasons being that I was hoping they'd have the physicalized component stuff in before the end of this year, which is obviously that is not going to happen. But I need to do some testing again. I'm actually not great with Star Citizen meta for components and weapons. Last time I checked, they just go pew pew. I think the cargo refactor is going to necessitate a value rework on commodities. Yes. Yes, of course. I mean, that all needs to be updated massively. It's a full overhaul to commodities, the economy, and cargo at the same time, just by the yeah. Yeah, so the largest containers that the hulled ships will be able to carry will be massive. They'll be ridiculous size. So actually, I suspect there'll be a factor of 4, then a factor of 4. So you'll have, what, 128 SU cargo containers, and then, what's 4 times 128? Whatever that is. 500 and something. 512? 512 seems right. So, I've hurt my neck, have not been sleeping properly, and I've had a migraine for 2 days. And I've taken some painkillers, but maths is not working in my brain. Border Raft. Oh, good job, Jock Cop. Looking forward to coming home from work and relaxing by working a shift at Everest Harbour Docks. Nice. I know, it's so weird, isn't it? So there was that. So there's a thing where people love doing Euro Truck Simulator or doing Farming Simulator as like a proper job after their job to relax, and it's so weird because it is pretty intensive games for those sort of simulators, and some people love that. Good effort, Drop Cop, mate. Thank you very much for the donation. That is very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, sir. Are we allowed to say Merry Christmas yet, or do we have to wait till December? I retract that if I'm not allowed to say it. Is there a wipe for 3.16 also? So there's wipe for 3.15. We don't know if there's going to be a wipe for 3.16. I would not expect a wipe for 3.16. So the Constellation Alpha, the Virpal stick, is I think the new one. So I've got a Constellation Delta. Constellation Delta is currently unavailable, or was the old one. But I have not used the Alpha, so I can't speak specifically for that. Although I would trust Virpal with my joystick needs. I'm not paid or sponsored by them in any way. What manufacturer makes the Titan exosuit? I don't actually know. Has it been talked about before? Might be Grey Cat. Still think Grey Cat might make ? because the reason I think it might be Grey Cat is because they were recently sort of power loader, industrial purposed. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. Sorry if I'm a little bit behind in chat, but that's just normal. Part of the course. Should I upgrade the Prospector to the Mole as a solo player? No. Prospector is better for a solo player. Just full stop. Mole is multi-role. Multi-role, multi-crew. Very much so. I really enjoy the Talon, but kind of want to get a bigger ship than it. Is there a ship in-game already or theory of a bigger alien fighter? So, okay. There's the K2Al, which is a light Xi'an fighter, but I suppose that's still light. If you're looking for like a medium alien fighter, so technically the Banu Defender's a light fighter, apparently. I'd say it's an escort fighter, which I'd actually put it in a different class. So you've got the Santok Yai, which is not in game yet, which is the medium Xi'an fighter. We've got glaives, sort of scythes, but they're very rare, and blades in game. The glaive is going to be getting a big update, and the scythers as well in the not too distant future. So that's the Vandal, Esperia replica ships, and you'll see more alien ships in the future. Yes. At the moment, it might be better just waiting and using your time. Why does it need to be an alien ship? Do you just like the alien aesthetic? What's the latest on Quanta and the dynamic economy? So they're building bits of Quanta and the dynamic economy in to the game. So 3.16 is actually going to have, at least the plan is, to have bits of Quanta and the dynamic economy in. So the game will be sort of working out certain things like encounters with pirates and security forces and miners. It will also have the price of repair and repair goods, sort of the is it HPMC? The sort of the stuff that's used for repairs, fuel, and but fuel repairs, quantum fuel, plasma fuel, and the repair stuff is all going to be controlled by the quantum system or quanta system. So that's going to be dynamic based on what's happening in an area. So yes, the start of the quanta stuff is coming in 3.16, at least that was the plan. There might be some missions associated with that, like we might see Jump Town version 2 as well, and stuff like that. But quanta's being phased in now, hopefully starting with the next major patch by the end of the year, and then we should have more and more of that next year. Do you see CIG doing another big round of help desk hiring once the PU nears release? So CIG are very much hiring now. They've got a massive studio expansion both in Frankfurt and especially in the UK, in Manchester, and I will expect them to want larger and larger. God damn, it's in, but a cloud cat in. She like, God damn it. They're hiring now, and yeah, they'll probably continue to hire for those sort of roles as well as the game expands more. Oh, what phone dinning have you created of late? Fate Aki, fine dining. So I've been planning. That's amazing. I have no idea what you're talking about. And one letter change, I understand. So I've been planning my Christmas, because I'm doing Christmas for the family this year. My father's obviously recently passed away, as all of you know. So I'm sort of handling it all this year. And I wanted it just to be me and my mother, and be nice and chill and done. But my brothers and their partners are coming around now, so it's a big family affair. So been planning that. I've bought some. They're not Wagyu steaks. I've bought some olive-fed ribeye steaks to try, because I've not had olive-fed beef before. I've had grain-fed, and I've had grass-fed, and I've had sort of the Wagyu and all the different in-betweens. I'm a lover of steaks. And I also bought some nice olive-fed beef mince with some Wagyu fat with that. So, I used to be head chef. I've been a chef for years, but I'm pretty lazy. I haven't sort of got very stressed with it, and now I can't be bothered with cooking as much. I love cooking and stuff, but I don't really do it at a large scale. And several years ago, I cooked a burger for Zin and DC and some of my other friends, but I had all the wrong stuff, and it was fun. It was absolutely awful. Not awful, but it was not great. It was sort of like a 3 out of 10, maybe a 2 out of 10. It was pretty bad. But I used to run a gourmet burger kitchen, and my burgers were renowned and fantastic. So Zin's not wanted to eat a burger that I've made since. I have not made a burger since for her. But I said, Zin, I'm going to make you a burger. And so that's what I've been planning. I've been planning on attempting to wow Zin with a burger and her partner. But I'm always doing some sort of fine dining stuff. I've been quite naughty with my diet recently because I came off keto and I sort of went back to a more moderate diet. And that's sort of okay. I gained a little bit of weight, but not a huge amount. But I've been having puddings and sugar again recently. And I'm like, no, it's sort of sugar kind of makes me feel tireder now. Not like in a... It tires me out quickly having sugar and I feel bad the next day. Is the Avenger Titan a good starter ship? Yes. So, I just so happen to have on my screen the cheapest way of getting an Avenger Titan, I think, at the moment, is by buying the discounted Mustang Alpha pack and then upgrading it to an Avenger Titan. So it's $25 more than the Mustang Alpha. The other way of getting a cheap Avenger Titan would be getting someone to sign up using your referral code, or signing up under someone else's referral code at the moment, and then you'll get a free Argo cargo. It's worth $35, so then just $20 will get you an Avenger Titan. That said, you can get all this stuff in game pretty easy. You only need a starter pack. You only need the Mustang Alpha or the Aurora MR, and bam, you can get this stuff in game relatively quickly and easily. It's just, I really love the Avenger Titan. Been playing D&D lately. How's that going? Yeah, really good. We cancelled this week's session, so Thursday I didn't go. I had a bad neck and back, and I was feeling pretty lousy. One of my friends had to stay late at work, and one of my other mates, I think, had to look after his kids. We'll cancel this week's session. We'll just do it next week. Yeah, it's really good. We've got a sort of airhead, Paris Hilton styled elf paladin, which is actually quite funny. Sort of very sort of airhead, sort of like pretty dumb, but very paladin. But it's the fortunate thing, like, if you're going to play a paladin, you're like, oh, I'm so good, and you can't get past me because this person's evil, I'm going to kill them full stop. And I was like, oh god. But this paladin is dumb and role played very dumb, so very very well that you can just. I'm a rogue. I'm a sort of morally grey area. But greater good, and will try and rescue people. I'm quite caring. I have a sanctity of life as a rogue, but I'm quite deceitful, and I'm quite happy to lie to people. So in that, I can just convince her that no, the devils are fine. They're evil, the devils, but they're not as evil as the demons, and we need the devils to kill the demons, and then in that way we get 2 for 1, and then you're doing twice the amount of good. It's like, perfect. We've got a paladin, but we've also got a cleric, and the cleric was sort of like Lord of Light from Game of Thrones. So he's great because he's slightly dark slightly evil, in the sort of way you can just go, yeah, it's for the greater good. Let's go murder these guys. Yeah. Really enjoying it. We're doing Descent to Avernus for D&D. Thank you very much, Captain Squirrel. Very much appreciated for the sub. And for the merriment of Christmas, Fate Aki. Thank you so much. That is a big donation. I appreciate your money. I will shower it into my face. That's a weird way of putting it, but thank you. Yes. You're a star. Oh, legend, thank you so much. Captain Squirrel, Fate Aki. You guys are top tier. Let us move over here and have a quick read. Apologies if I've not answered your questions yet. I will try and come to them. So I'm less worried about spoiling stuff for people now that the new Misk ship is an hour and a half away for being revealed. Do you think the Endeavour Master Pack will be available with lifetime insurance this year? That is a good question, and we're about to find out. I don't think it will be available with lifetime insurance unless it's part of another package. Yeah? Oh! It's over $1,000, isn't it? $1,000 or more ships typically come with lifetime insurance. So is it because it comes with those modules and stuff? Does it technically qualify for lifetime insurance? I don't know. Exilius. We'll find out really soon anyway. I'm really looking forward to that new Misk ship. I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting expedition ship. Because those multi-role expedition ships... so exploration science and tracking things down, marking stuff, mapping things out. So exploration and science sort of covers such a huge area with the game, because you're going to be needing to find resources as well as finding things for missions and finding points of interest. And there's all sort of separate areas for different gameplay. Finding that gameplay for other people is so integral to Star Citizen, that having lots of different ships that do it in slightly different ways and are also a bit multi-role, I think is integral, or very useful at the very least. So yes, I'm very excited for that, and the Corsair. Yeah, so I think a lot of people are going to melt their Corsairs and get an Odyssey. I think that's going to be a thing, because obviously you can always just, buy your Odyssey back later, and buy your Corsair back later, question mark, maybe. What else have we got? Please put question in brackets if you want me to check to see if what you're saying is addressed to me effectively. I have said, Bored, will we eventually be able to dock smaller ships to stations via the circular airlocks? Yes. I believe that is the plan. Say yes. Probably is a better way of saying it. So I would expect stations to have the large docking that we currently have for ships, but also smaller ports for ships to also dock like that in the future. Yes, those front docks, like on the raft, and the ones that are supposed to be part of the docking collars, it suggested that's more for ships to connect to each other, but I would expect to see it on space stations as well. It's not 100% confirmed, but I do think that's very likely. Slade Davis, thank you for what you do for this community. My faith in CIG has wavered over the years, but it seems your faith in Star Citizen hasn't wavered. So, number one, I don't have faith in Star Citizen at all, because my love or not love of Star Citizen at any given time is governed by what they're putting out and what I think about it. I don't have faith in their project. I think that what they are showing and what they are doing is very viable based on the information data that's available. So it's not faith. I think it's relatively proven out. I say proven out. We don't know until it's in our hands whether or not it's going to be a good game. But I'm liking what they're doing for development. Yes, it's super slow. I'm not happy about this, how super slow it is, but I've accepted that. Do I have faith they're probably going to make a good game? Yes, I do. But I would say that I'm hopeful they're going to be a good game. But yeah, I think there's things that you can criticize Clan Pyramon. Sometimes they're great with how transparent they are and giving us a load of information. Sometimes it's a bit lackluster. Sometimes they get stuff wrong. And you're allowed to question that, and you're allowed to talk about that, and you're allowed to criticize them for that. And you should, if you want to, in a civil, constructive way. Yeah, I think they're producing a set of great games. I think they're still expanding, and there's lots of stuff I find questionable. I mean, they've signed a 10-year lease. That's a good thing. So the 10-year lease, that's a good thing to know, because that means they're going to be supporting the game well after its release and that sort of stuff. Perfect. Great. They're expanding the studio so massively as well. There's more and more and more and more people. And like, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, obviously, they're making a huge amount of money year on year. It's going up and up and up. I would have thought when they were getting sort of close to Squadron 42's release, they might scale back. But it looks like they're scaling upwards more. That's crazy, right? Thank you very much, Arcade Alchemist. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated, sir. I say donation. You become a BoredGamer member. That is even more appreciated. Well, it's just as appreciated. I don't know. Thank you. You've got little emoji facey boys now. It means you need to put our video. So we try and do once every 2 weeks now. We're trying to do a exclusive video for the Patreons / YouTube members. And we forget to put them out. Well, at least I forget to put them out. But I will be doing that. So apologies if they've not gone out yet, which I don't think they have. But they will soon. I'm mumbling. Blah, 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 blah. What was the name of the ship made by the Turtle People? So the Xi'an are the Turtle People, I'm assuming you mean. Looks like an acorn. The Katu Owl or the Santok Yai. They look like acorns. Do you know what places I can go for Windows 11 issues concerning Star Citizen? Not really, because I have, at the moment, I'm not using Windows 11. You can go to support.weaponspaceindustries.com and have a look to see if there's anything there. Do you think this year's IAE is financially successful or more successful than prior years? I think it's the most successful one they've had so far, but it is something I've not dug into fully yet. And mainly because it's not over, so there's no real point in sort of digging into it too much. 1 second. Let me have a look at this funding tracker boy. Sheets. Not owned by me. And more Giggle Sheets looking at the crowdfunding development spreadsheet. So we got this bad boy. And how well is it doing? Let's have a look. They've added October. They haven't added November in yet. So, by the end of October, Star Citizen had made more than it had made in 2020 by that time, by the same time last year. So, okay. And how much have we made so far? It's 10 million so far. We say just 10 million. Oh man. So it's 14 million so far in November. Okay. Reached over 400 million on the main funding tracker. Now, how much did it make last year in the IAE? So what we've got another. I think we've probably got another 7 million to come in from the IAE. Well, 17, 18 million, I think that probably hits. Let's have a look. 2020. How much did they make? Is there a how much they made in the? So last year's November. That's mostly the IE, I suppose. It made almost 17 million. And I'm expecting them to hit about 20, just under 20 million this year for November. So to me, it looks like they're going to be breaking records again this year. But we won't know until we know. So Star Citizen does look like it is doing pretty well financially. Well, not for me, it doesn't. It looks like it's taking my hard-earned money and turning it into spaceships. Spaceships I love, though. Not that I spend that much money on spaceships anymore. I think I've got maybe about $3,300 in spaceships. Only spent like $300 on spaceships in the last couple of years. I like spaceships. I'm a monster. Looking Glass, thank you very much for becoming a bored citizen. Oh, you star, thank you. So people can become bored citizens by clicking the join button under my YouTube videos, which helps support the channel massively. Thank you. How often does Star Citizen wipe? Whenever they need to at major patches. So it'll be when they get like database updates and that sort of stuff. Eventually there will be no more wipes. The 3.15 was the first wipe we had in like 18 months, I think. So they try not to wipe, but they are in the process of updating databases and things like that. So it's more likely they are going to need to wipe more often in the shorter term, but they'll try not to. And even when they do wipe some stuff, they might not wipe all of it. And wasn't there a gameplay concept of science at one time, not long ago? Yes, so with the Endeavour science ship, but there's also other science ships that's sort of in game with like the Reliant. The Reliant's got a science variant of it. I think it's the Zen. But yeah, so science covers a huge range of topics from, so the Endeavour you can have a hospital configuration for it, you can have a farming configuration for it, but you can also have research labs and places to craft drugs and sciencey things. You can have a telescope for spotting things. You can have a particle collider for tweaking components. So science in game covers a huge amount of topics, which also sort of like touch on lots of other things, including crafting and exploration and loads of different types of mission. And data crunching. So getting data and exploration data or science data and then crunching that into something more usable and sellable. What are your thoughts about space docking? Can you be more specific, Steakhausen? Was it a naughty joke? New to this, so just to be sure, how does melting and buyback work, especially relative to Warbond CCUs? Okay, so when you melt something, you get the full value of what you've paid into it back. If you got a $200 ship, technically it's worth $200, but you only spent $5 on it, you melt it, you get $5 back. Yeah. If you upgrade a ship, you get its current market value, is the way I'll describe it, and the current listed value for it. So if you spent $5 on it, it's technically worth $200 on the RSI website, and it's worth $200 when you upgrade it. So $200 plus if you're buying a ship that's worth $25, you'd only spend $25 to get the upgrade. Bam. And then if you melted it, well, you get the value of every single dollar that you'd put into it back. Yeah. When it comes to buying back certain things like Warbond CCUs and promotional things, some stuff is not you cannot buy back. So just bear that in mind. And obviously, you can only buy back stuff with real money, unless you've got a buyback token to allows you to buy back stuff with store credit. And then I don't think you can buy back Warbond CCUs or anything like that with store credit anyway.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Holy Shag, thank you very much. I appreciate the sub. Oh, you star. Thank you very much for subbing with Prime. And you, Steakhausen, as well. I probably already said thank you. I got your name confused. It broke my brain. All the new ships and Orison kept us sheep happy to throw more money at CIG. Good job. They throw more money at CIG if you don't want to. If you want to support the project and stuff, and you got the money to spend on ships that you want, do it. But if not, then don't. Spend it yourself. I have more faith in people to, make better decisions on what they want to do with the money that they have. I don't go, oh, look, they've done this, and now lots of people are going to give them money. Okay. Other people might. You don't have to. You're right, Eradicator, mate. That's awesome. The more money they make, the more resources they have to complete the vision. That's sort of true. I think there is a diminishing returns after a certain point of the amount of stuff. So my concern is with the massively expanding studios is that how efficient can it be as it gets larger and larger? I mean, maybe because they're all working on the same thing and they're built the way they're building it. Maybe they're going to be great. Like it's going to be sort of monumental, and actually lots of projects will switch to the way that Star Citizen does stuff. Maybe not. $500 million reduce. I know, right? It's a lot of money. So it's closer to $500 million now than it is 400 million, with to include everything. Yeah, I think a lot of people quite liked the wipe. Obviously, people that had just got a ship or just spent all their money, they're not so happy. Bit mining spaceship. What do you mean? Do you what like Bitcoin? What are we talking about? What's going on? Okay, so quick spoiler. I'm just going to mention the Misk ship's name, but so we believe it's going to be the Misk Odyssey, and that will be revealed in about an hour and 10 minutes. So exploration styled Misk ship, sort of medium. I believe it's medium size. So estimates for it, we don't know. Eradicator thinks $500 ish. So you think the Odyssey's larger than the Carrack? I thought it was going to be smaller, but I haven't read all of the leaks for the Odyssey. The reason is that some people were talking about the Odyssey, and I know some stuff about the Odyssey, but I don't know everything about it. It was directly different from what I had heard, because people were talking about the Odyssey being a refining ship. And I do think it has a refinery on it for longer range stuff, but I don't think it is the refining ship. But I have not checked all of the leaks from SC Leaks or those other sources. Yeah, so it looks like super self-sufficient, so super long range. And able to do a little bit of everything through exploration, including potentially some mining. Mining and refining, to an extent, anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. And I'm not sure how big it is. Some people think it's going to be bigger than the Carrack. That'd be interesting. I mean, they'd sell a lot if it was. I think it's just going to be I suppose it doesn't really matter what it is. It's a different type of exploration ship. So focused on a slightly different area of exploration. And we'll find out about it pretty soon. Hour and 10 minutes. Yogi, thank you very much for the subscription. Very much appreciated. We will be getting a video out on on day 9 of the IAE, and that a new ship ASAP as well. Right. Has it been stated which of the salvaging or data gameplay loops will arrive first? So 3.18, we'll start to see salvaging gameplay loops come in. That's the plan. And data gameplay, we don't know yet, but they need to design a UI for it for the most part, and then I think it's sort of almost there, really. Yeah, like, but they haven't talked about it. Odyssey Explorer, it built different. That is a great tagline. Right, let's. Bored, why don't you save the streams on your channel? So I used to, and then I forgot to recently. I've got a load of them unlisted there, so I'll release them properly soon. Sorry about that. Ares Ion or Ares Inferno. Depends on what you want to use it for. I prefer the Ion for the uses that I've got, because I want to use it as a snipey ship, and something I can use from long range, or do alpha damage. People love the Inferno because of it being very high DPS. Yeah, I agree with you, Arizona. 3.16 will probably go to open PTU at Christmas. That makes the most sense to me, eh? Do you think the Banner Merchantman will be released on Alien Week? You'll probably see it on sale again, and probably hear a little bit more about it. But I'm expecting... Okay, I think the earliest we'll see the Banner Merchantman is the end of next year. And that's if they're going to give it a bit of a focus. What B-roll was this from? So Zin grabs a load of stuff from inside Star Citizen. Interesting sort of bits. So some of this is from CitizenCon. Some of this is from inside Star Citizens. Some of this is from ship trailers. Is the glaive getting smaller or bigger? Overall, it'll be bigger, I believe. And looking a billion times better. Yeah, I have a 400i, but really want an alien ship. Just because I think they look dope. But really wanted a medium or heavy one. Scorpius is dope. But you'll see some heavier alien ships in the future. Heavier fighters. And that sort of stuff. I know ship salvage falls far away. But do you think there's any point on getting a vulture on top of a reclaimer, practically speaking? So, the vulture will allow you to get into smaller areas. And as long as you've got someone else to run the vulture with you, then you'll be able to do stuff quicker. You see what I mean? You'll probably be able to strip the hulls and then make more money because you're stripping the hulls first before then getting the reclaimer to crush stuff. Yeah? How does it work with ships that you build in-game? Do you keep them after a reset? So you don't build a ship in-game yet, and we're not 100% sure if we're going to be able to craft ships in-game. If you buy a ship in-game with in-game money, you keep that until there is a reset. Obviously, one day, there will be no more resets, and then when that happens, all ships that you buy in-game will stay with you permanently. Well, until they get destroyed when you haven't got them insured. Looking at the few cargo areas in the game at the moment, does it make sense that there'll be a specialized landing area for loading and unloading? Yes, it does. And that's one of the reasons that they had cargo decks added to space stations earlier on. But they don't have much use yet. But they are ready for that. Are you going to be putting a Christmas elf hat on your disembodied Chris Roberts head? Oh, yeah, I'll get him to do that. That's a great idea. I know ship salvage feels far away, but do you think there's any point on getting a vulture on top of the game? That's what we talked about. Why does my ship hard to flicker at times? Super frustrating when I'm mining. Because bugs and because alpha. Hopefully that'll get solved ASAP. And I've not had that bug. Ship did you say? But in the prospect on mining at the moment. I've not done much mining in 3.15.1. Oh, I don't know if I've done any in 3.15.1. The 400i seems underwhelming. I'd agree. Like, it's very pretty, nice ship, but it does feel underwhelming on paper compared to other ships. On paper, in practice compared to other ships. And do you know if ship kitchens and living quarters will ever become fully functional? They'll be functional, yes. They'll allow you to store stuff there, make food there, eat, nom nom nom. How do you feel about the price of basic colour skins and the controversy over the hex code functionality? It's not really a controversy over hex code functionality. There's a statement from Cameron and some other people just saying, oh, are we still having hex code? It was 5 years ago you talked about it and we still don't have it, and you're selling skins. And Cal Imperium have said that we're going to have aftermarket and a manufacturer level customization to quite a high degree, but they need to talk about it again. I'm fine with them selling intricate skins and for real money. But I also want the ability to have basic colours and multiple toned colours and some basic sort of shapeology and stuff in customization of skins that I can do in-game without spending real money. Yeah? Remember the big Argo disc? Yes. So they were looking at a disc-like Argo ship ages ago. I really hope that becomes a base builder site. I don't think they like the look of it. I didn't like the look of it. Price of the new Mysk ship? We don't know. We do not know how much that Odyssey is going to be. Bored, I know, and that's what we talked about already. Bored! What's up? How are you? I'm alright, Zini Beanie. Any idea when more mining heads and parts for size 0 vehicles will come in? No. They will add lots of different sort of customizations for stuff like that, but I think that it's more important at the moment that they get stuff balanced and add more gameplay loops. Probably. Do they hold things back due to Squadron 42? Sort of. So there's obviously some bits, especially some ships and characters and things like that they don't want to show off, and some tech. And now the new sort of way that they do releases, their release strategy, is that they release things to Squadron 42 for it to be refined and tested in Squadron 42 before then pushing it into the PU. So before, they'd often have it sort of released, both Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe, at similar times to their dev streams, but now that's not going to be the case. It has been ages since the Squadron 42 vertical slice, and I'm hoping that we get something a little bit Squadron 42-y for Christmas. What do you think will be major features in 2022? Salvage, refueling, some level of repair, and then it's going to be new star systems, server meshing, stuff like that. More of the quantum stuff, Gen 12 renderer stuff. I mean, they're looking like they're trying to push towards base building. Is that something I think we could see next year? I mean, it's possible. Can you explain the cities in some depth? I was wondering if they will entirely be explorable. Not entirely explorable. You're about to explore them largely by the air and look and go, oh, that's pretty. But we're not going to explore them largely by foot. So the large cities, there'll be some areas that they're explorable. So the places you can get to via the trams and trains, and some of the there might be some other areas, slightly more secret areas or mission areas that open up as well, like the buildings on top of and around the Area 18 and the other areas. They might open up, for example, and you might see some more villages and towns and things appear on planets, even if they've already got a major city. With the Odyssey, mining now has small, medium, and large, and capital ship. What gameplay do you think it will? Drop cop, I'm a bit confused by the question. Are you annoyed, like me, that there are so few Jax videos this year? And there's going to be more. There's going to be some more Jax videos. Don't you worry. I think there's a Jax video today, in fact. Valier? I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. $2. Thank you very much for the monies. Sell cool skins. Give Hex Color 2. I pay for both. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Cool skins, though. Not basic color variant skins. You should be able to do that in-game, and it shouldn't sort of like be like, you can get this white skin. You can get this blue. Okay. Give me a dragon paint on it or something. Will CIG have a 10-year anniversary party soon? It would be 2022 for them. Although they talked about Star Citizen in 2011, technically, and they didn't really start doing anything for it until 2012. So, I think that's right. Next year's IAE will be more successful if they release more capital ships. So, people do buy capital ships. That is true. Any suggestions on how to make friends or join groups that are active in Star Citizen? So, a load of orgs have sort of discords and recruiting areas, so you can literally have a bit of a shop around there. And there's a orgs viewer on the RSI website as well. So you should be able to shop and find orgs and then try out with them and just say, look, I'm looking for people to play with, I'm looking for friends, and I'm looking for some organisation that's going to help me get into the game. Can you guys do that? And you'll be able to find an org that's perfect for you, at the right size for you as well. I really want the Gladiator, but being the first stretch goal, it's a very dated. The Gladiator's in game. It's the. It needs updating. The Gladiator, that fighter bomber, needs updating, and it probably needs to be able to get bombs. It's going to be used for Squadron 42, so. My goal is 15,000 pledge level. You're a monster, Summer Yeti, but I love you. We'll definitely have that by the time the game launches. I want that exclusive F8C. Oh, wow. I got that. Where or how is the best way to find the best way to upgrade ship components and weapon loadouts? Thanks. So you've got Urkel's weapon tool, and you've also got the component finder, which I can't remember the name of at the moment. But there are tools you can use. Item finder. Okay. Finder.cornerstone.space. Let me link this. It's finder.cornerstonebase.space or Urkel.games. So those are the two tools I use for outfitting and finding things. There are others as well, and the others are still good. The ones I've used, I can't remember their names. What is about 5 to 10 minutes behind chat? Typically, yes. What do you expect from What do you expect from VIP transportation 3.17? I expect it to be pushed back, but the idea is that NPCs will walk onto your ship. So I would expect them to be spawned in your in a hangar. So they'll come out of a lift at a hangar or whatever, and then walk into your ship, and then you'll take them to the next hangar, and they'll walk out of your ship and go into an elevator. Bam, to a spawn locker, basically. That's basic, but that's actually very important that NPCs can traverse from more different physics grids into your ship and then walk off your ship. Do you think a NVIDIA Tesla T4 will be good enough to run this game? So are the Teslas, or the Telsas, are they the graphics sort of rendering and modeling and workstation based ones? Because they're not necessarily great for actually running games. They don't have the same instructions as I understand it. Yeah, where's the Star Citizen crypto? The ships are basically NFTs anyway, mate. So you've got an hour's time. So hour's time, 4 p.m. UTC. We've got the switching over to the new expo hall. So MISC, we've got the unveiling of that new MISC ship. Speaking of Jed, do you know he's really into D&D? He's a proper geek. He's a geek like me. Lots of us are geeks, I'm sure, as well. I like D&D. It's great. I like roleplay. I use a Verbal Constellation Delta when I use a HOTAS. When will the planet start orbiting Stanton? It's supposed to be a planned feature, orbiting planets orbiting the star and moons orbiting the planets. And they've got dynamic splines so that when you do quantum travel, it knows where the planet's going to be when you're traveling to it. Is it worth investing in a starter pack now? Yes, because you can get them very cheaply at the moment. You get 10% off or 20% off if you go for a bigger one. But I'd just go for the basic Mustang Alpha. And if you want to upgrade it later, potentially upgrade it later. Volumetric crowds, I think, look great at the moment. They look much better in the CitizenCon demo, which hopefully will get them in that way in the future. I've been out of the Star Citizen loop since crowdfunding success. Do they still plan to let people name systems they find Will they be discoverable systems? There will be discoverable systems. There will be sort of wormholes and things like that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to name them. They did sort of say that. They did suggest that. So hopefully that will still be the case. People aren't going to constantly be always finding new star systems. And sort of bear that in mind. But it will be a thing. At least I believe it will be. Will we be able to refine fuel like the Starfarer? Will it be able to refine fuel like the Starfarer? Well, number one, we're waiting to find out more about the Starfarer, because we know the Starfarer has evolved somewhat since the original concept with gas harvesting and gas mining and mining in general. So it's sort of like more. It sounds like it's more modular now. The Starfarer, and it's got refining, and you can set it up to carry fuel and refine fuel and maybe do some other gathering. We'll have to wait and see. Also, the Odyssey sounds like it's going to be able to do a little bit of mining, a little bit of gathering, a little bit of refining, so that it can just go out and just stay out on huge periods of time. When do you think we will see better or more extensive cargo hauling missions? Next year. Got cargo hauling updates next year. They're wanting to add a lot of stuff with Quanta and the sort of back-end simulation and front-end stuff to support that and make it make sense. In your opinion, how long do you think this game will take? Can you be more specific? When do I think we're going to see a release of Star Citizen's Persistent Universe? Probably around 5 years. When Apollo? We don't know. They have not mentioned when the Apollo is going to be done. That's the medical ship. How far down the pipeline do you think the Perseus is? Okay, so the ships that they sort of concepted in the last 2 years, they're significantly further down the pipeline than ships that were done previously to that. Well, if you see what I mean. So the way they concept stuff now is they sort of build it out in much more detail before then bringing it to concept, and their pipelines are a lot more refined. So the Perseus is sort of Corvette-ish sized and sort of like a gun brawler. So it doesn't have any sort of super special mechanics it needs done for it. But they do need to go, we're going to be working on the Perseus, and I think they can probably get it done in sort of 6 months once they focus on it. What do you think about the Orion? Now that Odyssey is coming, will it be able to mine deep between Pyro and Stanton? So the Orion is a giant super strip miner. It's very different from the Odyssey, which sounds like it's going to be more exploration and slightly science focused. Also, maybe one of the things the Odyssey does is mine exotic things. So it's literally going, I'm going to go and find very rare, odd materials that are in very unique locations. Do you know if they are going to make ships with different variants in their series modular with their own series? Would that, would like to make a nice combination on a Connie Phoenix? So you might see modularity that is interchangeable between variants, yes? In some situations. Are there any IAE login rewards this year? Yes, so with each day, there is a Spectrum forum badge for the manufacturer's day. Do you think they need to implement paint textures like Rocket League as textures for skins? Maybe? I don't know what those Rocket League textures are. Sorry. So Cousin Crow's Custom Craft will eventually allow you to do lots of ship modification and modularity changing and stuff like that. And custom, paints and all sorts of things. Will the Odyssey be flyable or concept? Good question. I think it's just going to be concept. Lots of people suggested it's going to be straight to flyable. What new gameplay features are you most excited about with 3.16 and 3.17 and why? I think it's probably best to wait to see how the patches develop. But the idea of getting the dynamic Quanta stuff, the start of that will be pretty cool for the game. That's very important. Jump Foundation 2 I'm very excited for as well. Any idea if we'll get a 500 series from Origin? Probably eventually. How do you feel about Cloud Imperium saying they aren't releasing ships without gameplay, but then the Raft and potentially the Odyssey coming out? So that's not entirely what they said, but they're not going to release stuff in isolation. There is cargo gameplay, and the Raft does work, and they are going to be getting the ability for to move cargo containers in the not too distant future, as I understand it. Do you think there'll ever be plague and disease in game? Yes. And I think there'll be missions and alerts associated with that. I mean, you certainly can get debuffed as well to an extent. Would you personally rather every manufacturer to make many types of ship for competition against each other? Or vice versa? I don't really mind. Mixture of the two's fine. I don't mind if there's some sort of competitors to other ships. As long as they're not just exactly the same ship just done from another manufacturer. There needs to be a slight difference. Do you know what I mean? Since DLC is out of 3.16, yes, it's 3.18 now. There certainly could be some variant ships and vehicles still in 3.16. We could even see a mobile refinery ship in 3.16. Dun dun dun! If it's not the Odyssey. Honeydew, question. Is there any point to the M2 and A2? The A2 holds 8 crew over 3 and has same kitchen living area and more weapons. So, okay. The A2, very, very expensive and obviously focused at bombing. The M2, I like the M2. You want to carry tanks? You want to have a bit of armor? Carry them. I mean, I'm preferring the Liberator at the moment on paper. I mean, Odyssey versus the Orion. I mean, they're very different ships. The Orion is a strip miner. But we'll find out very soon anyway what the differences are. Do you have any advice on how to work on improving my FPS accuracy? So, in general, practice it makes perfect with the game. Try to make sure that your mouse ratio to sort of DPI is sort of set to a solid level. Work out whether you're a sort of Twitch high sends or low sends user. Practice on some games that I always practice on Source Engine based games. There's the free sort of things on Steam as well for learning Source Engine based shooting for like people who use it for Counter-Strike and stuff. The reason I use Source Engine is because it's an engine that I know backwards. Do you think CIG will add snub-specific gameplay loops, not requiring a quantum drive? Yes. They'll be useful as well, snub ships, for combat and for moving small haul of people around and things like that. What unmarked locations are your favourite to visit? Stega Canyon used to be highly up there before it got obviously removed because it was a bug, effectively. What else have we got here? Do you often get death glitches? Sometimes. I mean, not often. I get killed more randomly from death glitches in Battlefield 2042 than I do in Star Citizen. When will we get the sandworms? I'm kidding. Well, I mean, they're native to, what, Layer 2 or Layer 3? And we will eventually get them. How much of the Outpost and Reputation stuff will come in Pyro when it releases? So those new Outposts will be in Pyro. We saw them, they look pretty ready. So new points of interest. And obviously Reputation stuff is in now. And it's building from patch to patch as well. When we will be able to do the artifact mission, I don't know. I suspect that will be the sort of part of a chain of missions for someone. Do you agree with the ship skin prices? No, not for basic skins. No, not for just color changes. No, no, no. I want the ability to be able to buy intricate, clever skins with real money, and the ability to change my color of my ship in game. Argoraft in-game price. About 3 mil would be my expectation. Yeah? What's your personal preference for assault rifle? Okay, so it doesn't matter at the moment unless you're doing PvP. Yeah? Because me and Zin have lived through the traumatic times of your guns just slipping out of your hands randomly, so you have to randomly pick up more guns. And we'd just use a mixture of anything. So, is it the P4R? P4A? It's the one I use normally. But it's whatever you prefer at the moment. The AI do not react in a way that it makes it much difference. That's why I'd say. So the DPS to how long does it take for my bullets to hit them from when I press the trigger and press my mouse to accuracy, that does not really come into it yet. Do you think there will be ship variants only available through reputation? Not only, but yes, but I do think you're also able to buy them off other people and that sort of stuff as well. How much does the Argo Raft cost in in-game currency? We don't know yet. As I said, I would expect around 3 million. Anything else? What monitor model do you use? Milliseconds. So, my main monitor. I've got a 4K one above me, which I use for some recording. But I've got a 1440p Agon 1 millisecond super low latency monitor. Sort of got a load of low latency features and stuff like that. It's 144 hertz, but I've overclocked mine to 162 hertz. It's AG271QX. It's very cool. Do they still plan to have hundreds of systems? So there is, on paper, plans for 120 systems as far as I'm aware. And they plan to do that. And are they working on AI system generator system? No. It's the procedural generation is procedural assistance. It is not procedural generation of that generates them based on demand. MISC ships surrendered today. You'll find out in 40 minutes. It'll be like all the freelancers and things like that. When the salvage is implemented, do you think they'll make Reclaimer salvaging features usable at the same time as the Vulture is put in? So the Reclaimer might get hull stripping at the same time, but the Reclaimer is supposed to be more salvage. It's supposed to crush stuff into cubes, which I think is a bit more advanced, a bit different. So probably not. When do you think server meshing will be materialized? Potentially for Q3 next year. So 4.0, potentially Q3 2022. Is ship refining on the roadmap? Ship refining? Can you be more specific? What's the Odyssey? I've never heard it before. It's a ship that should be unveiled in about 40 minutes. A new explorer MISC ship. Do you think CIG will want to stop and sell ships after release? I don't think they will. And if they do stop, do you think they'll be financially viable? Yeah, so I mean, they'll be sensible about how they make their money. I mean, they've always wanted to sell in-game currency, and they'll obviously still sell game packages and things like that, and voluntary subscriptions, and there's lots of other sources of revenue. But I still think they'll sell concept ships. And they go, we've got a new ship planned, and you can, if you buy it now, you get it the earliest possible opportunity. Maybe you get it like a week earlier than everyone else. I'm so pumped for the new Misc ship, Total Fanboy, based on the model. I'd like someone to make a meme with hobbits from Lord of the Rings, with the scene where they talk about pints. They have Odyssey. Show a freelancer dirt and a prospector and say, but we've had a whole half already. You've had a whole half already? I'm getting one. I have not seen Lord of the Rings in a long time. I'm getting one. Oh, good old Merry and Pippin. Pyro 2022 chance. Yes? I think they've got it planned for Q3, Q4 next year. That's what they want. Hi, board. Got a 400i back at TC and plan on buying a medivac before IAE ends. Now, a ship. Now, I want a ship also to do a little bit of everything. Trading? I can't really decide. Mercury Star Runner or Raft or something different. I love the Mercury Star Runner. I can't really advise you. It's based on exactly what you want it for. Mercury Star Runner is sort of super multi-role. Okay, so if the Odyssey is not incorporating small refinery ship, I expect to see a small refinery ship in 3.16. Oh. So yeah, the Pioneer is supposed to be a mobile factory, largely for base building. And yes, there will be base building eventually, and you won't need a Pioneer. Apparently, you won't need a Pioneer to do base building. It will help and allow you to do a lot more, though. TRG have been building the base building stuff for a while now. Will the Apollo have respawn points, or is it just another woo-woo wagon like the Cutlass Red? So, you can... It depends on how you set the Apollo up, because it's got 2 modular sections, which you can have different levels of medical facilities in. And if you put level 1 and 2 medical facilities, you should be able to spawn there. Tier 1 and 2. How is CRG going to have meaningful exploration gameplay without procedural generations of thousands of new systems and mods? Well, so each of the planets there is large. They can have lots of exploration there. The space in star systems is massive, so they can have loads of stuff to find and explore and do there that they could actually have semi-procedurally generated just in space. They could have stuff generated on planets as well. It doesn't have to be the exploration of a new planet to have new things on it. And there are still going to be some new systems that are available to be discovered. But exploration will take a lot of different forms, including missions and science things, finding specific plants or creatures and that sort of jazz, finding points of interest, finding asteroids and asteroid fields, finding and surveying areas. There's a huge amount within that sort of area. But there's also going to be mapping of temporary wormholes and things like that that will give you, maybe not allow you to go to a new area, but will go, well, actually, this connects these 2 systems together, which were previously unconnected. Or this allows you to move within this system from here to here. Well, that's interesting. Any ship leaks today? So we're just talking a bit about the Odyssey. Jaybird, hope you're doing well, sir. So yeah, the Polaris is supposed to be coming back to the roadmap, at least the tracker at some point. It's weird that it hasn't yet. It went off and they pushed it off and they went, well, we're just working out where it's going to be. They did suggest that it was going to be done before the Bunny Merchantman, but at the moment that's a bit confused. When can we see Vulkan or CPU optimizations? So they're adding more and more of the Gen 12 renderer stuff actually activated in game each patch now, so you'll notice more of that in 3.16. And next year you should see a lot of Vulkan and CPU optimization stuff. Do you think there will be planet-side combat? Yes. Yeah, there'll be lots of planet-side combat. That's a major plan in the game. Robert Johnston, do you not post these streams on YouTube to watch later anymore? I will make them live later today. I'll make a load of them live. My bad for not. So I forgot and got lazy about it. What is the cheapest ship? Probably the Aurora ES. But no one's going to use that. Not until the game's released anyway, because you buy them super cheap in game. I hope you're doing well, Robert Johnston, sir. Verpal or VKB. So I love Verpal. I think they're fantastic. VKB are supposed to be fantastic as well. My personal recommendation is Verpal. Because I've used them. When do you think data running will come into the game? So I think they just need to build a UI for it and then tweak some stuff in game so that it can be used properly. So obviously we've got the Herald and the Mercury Star Runner that can make very good use of that. I would expect to see it next year, but I don't know if it's a priority. I don't know where it is on the roadmap either at the moment. More Zinlaw videos when? I mean, there's a 1 or 2 to be released at the moment. I'm sort of just waiting to release. More interviews with both of you when? I'm guessing after Christmas. We might try and do some stuff before that. Are there missions that enable us to use ground vehicles? Not properly yet, no. There will be, though. Which is a railgun, the hand railgun. You can find that on finder.cornerstonebase.space. Yeah. Practical use. Will the star map ever be revamped? It's being revamped currently. Don't know when it's actually going to be done, though. But there's supposed to be minimap stuff. There's supposed to be integration of Galactopedia. There's supposed to be a much more granular roll up and roll down into the star map. Do you like the raft? Yeah, I think the raft's okay. I'm probably not going to buy one myself. In the future, I'll probably grab one in game. Do you have special information and connections to obtain additional development knowledge, or are you also a CIG dev and actually the real Chris Roberts? What? Anyone has the ability to gain additional knowledge about Star Citizen by contacting the devs, or use the correct sources, or poke them. Do I have connections for that already in place? Yes. And I do occasionally poke them about things. And then I make a video on it. Also go on like studio tours occasionally. Haven't been on a studio tour for a couple of years, so I'm hoping to do that as soon as they move into their new studios. Do you think 3.16 will still be before the end of the year? Yes, but I think it's only going to be open PTU by the end of the year. Don't think they'll release it to live until next year. Is the raft a hull loader? Potentially. That's, I think, one of its uses. Do you have any idea when there will be another Nine Tails lockdown? 3.16, I would expect to see them. I've updated that to a point where you'll start to see them in game properly again. I don't really have a favourite gun in Star Citizen at the moment. It will change. Can I buy a Javelin? So, during the IAE, and on Aegis Day, they sold Javelins in 3 waves. So you can't buy one anymore. But you could have previously if you'd won the F5 battles. Would it be cool if you could film the studio tour? I think that would be unlikely. Unless they section stuff off properly. It's possible. I mean, I can talk to them about it. I'd better film some of it potentially. But there's stuff that then have to get vetted to make sure that we are not showing any Squadron 42 stuff or stuff that's NDA'd doesn't get shown. Will the ability to name ships become available for everyone? Yes, in-game. I believe so. Could you link the website? Yes, I can. Is that website? You think rebalancing and lowering the Q drive fuel capacities, especially on smaller ships, would help differentiate classes? I'm okay for balance for that. I'm okay for them having a look at it in more detail soon. I mean, Pyro is going to be quite a lot larger than Stanton system. But refueling's coming in. There's lots of stuff that needs to come in place before they then need to balance it and work this stuff out a bit more detail. Who's your favorite Star Citizen streamer and YouTuber? So there's some people I really like that are also content creators, and there's some people I like as content creators, if you see what I mean. So separate from them being content creators, like I really love Nooberfire and Salty Mike and Super Mac Brothers, people like that. I've got history with. They're good chaps. Love them loads. And there are some people that I don't know as well, but I really like their content. And I'm not sure if I've got a favourite. Quite like lots of different people's because I like the different points of view. I watch stuff from like, it might be from Space Tomato, or it might be from Cameral, or it might be from Eradicator. And I quite happily watch all of them for their different points of view on different mechanics and things. What feature or gameplay element are you most looking forward to with the upcoming Pyro system? It's base building and sort of that level of expansion exploration is probably what I'm looking forward to. I mean, just the new locations and stuff, just the expanding out of the system is going to be pretty exciting. What things do you think should be reputation locked versus purchasable in game? Well, everything should be purchasable in game to a certain extent. So obviously there's going to be some things, especially military gear and alien tech and stuff, like the Banu ships and things like that. They'll be hard to get unless you have a reputation with them. You see what I mean? Do you prefer Nords cooked medium rare, like a proper steak? Well, it depends on the steak, doesn't it? Nords, you can eat them raw. That's how good they are. Oh, I love Morphologist. Morphologist stuff is fantastic. Like he is, he has the best looking Star Citizen content by far. Like full stop. If you're looking for a poster boy for pretty video and sort of lovely, beautiful takes on Star Citizen, it's Morph. But he sort of like is very look how amazing the world is. So beautiful. It's like a Attenborough sort of documentary on beautiful wildlife or something. Do you think once the game mechanics are mostly implemented, releases of systems will come quicker? I think you're going to see it in parallel anyway. You're going to see them working on Star Systems and gameplay systems simultaneously now. And they've got a whole studio with the Montreal studio from Turbulence working on gameplay area and the star map and stuff like that anyway. How many ships have brigs? Don't know. And what do you classify as a brig? Is a larger prisoner pod a brig? No, the Idris has a brig. Probably the Javelin has a brig. Yes, I've met Morph before. Met him for CitizenCon 2019. He's a good chap. There's some interviews with me, him interviewing me on his channel. How long do you think until we see the X1 hoverbiking game? So they are updating the GravLab tech. There's apparently been a breakthrough in GravLab tech for 3.16. So you probably see it like middle of next year, probably. That'd be my expectation. Robert Johnston! Haven't been on Spectrum in ages. Is it full of congratulations, Sherry threads? What? What's going on? Is she getting engaged? What's happened? What's happening? What? Have I missed something? I might have missed something. Can't be full of them. I haven't seen them. What about Architect reviews? Yeah, so well, that's Morph, isn't it? Morph stuff is fantastic. He makes it beautiful. He talks about it in his sort of element. If me and Zin can ever make sort of footage, and he's got an eye for camera angle and stuff like that as well. It's like being a director as well as sort of like getting the shots. Do you think we will get a capital ship with 4.0? What ships are being shown today? Well, you'll find out in about half an hour. But we are getting the Misk. It's Misk Day, and we're expecting to see the Misk Odyssey. What do you think deep space gameplay will look like? What can we expect from long-term expeditions in the new pirate system? So I suspect there'll be points of interest and derelicts and sort of asteroid fields and encounters that you will find. Can you give Robert Johnston a spanner? We can. We can give him a spanner. You want me to give Robert Johnston a spanner? I can give him a spanner. I trust Robert Johnston. He's a good chap. Where is he? Yeah. Robert Johnston, you got a spanner now. That's all it takes. Just Jaybird to say, can we give him a spanner? Perfect. Done. Have you seen any of the elite content by the pilot? They're moving to Star Citizen content, apparently. No, I have not. Are you going to stream the Misk items live? Probably not. I'll probably jump in a minute to do a video on it. Because there's also going to be the Odyssey as well that I want to cover. But Architect Reviews is Morph, isn't it? Big reviews. That's his stuff. Oh. What do you think of a Polaris-sized drone ship? Yes! Corvette drone ship. I'm happy with that. Corvette combat drone ship. Thanks, JPET. No worries, mates. Ships like the Nautilus rely on the idea that other players will exist within the same server, but with recent conversations on how the servers will work, is there a reason for the concern? So, it's a good question. So the Nautilus is obviously a mine layer and mine sort of mine repurposer. To sort of bear that in mind. That's a good point. With when you place mines down, you log off. Your mines log off with you. Do they stay in that shard? When I log on, I've placed those mines there for a reason. Maybe to protect my assets. That's really interesting. April next year, didn't you get an invite? Oops, sorry, I put my foot in it. What? What's going on? Have I not been invited to? What's going on? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Would you like to see swords and other melee weapons added to the game? Yes, I think people want that. We know we're getting advocacy tools, so like stun baton type stuff, less than lethal things. I'd expect to see. Well, they've got the Vandal Spear, which is obviously a Jaffa Cree. Do you think we'll see larger capital ships such as the Kraken or Liberator start to be released in game? Well, yeah, we're going to start to see them at some point. I think the Kraken is probably going to be one they try and focus on relatively quickly. I wouldn't say the Liberator's a capital ship. How do you react if they added ships with features some sort of alien cloaking device? No! No! No cloaking in game. No. Like that. That's how I'd react. I missed it. Did you say if you had an opinion on replacing purchase paints with textures like brush metal? Yeah, so, I'd like to see brush metal and pearlescence and stuff like that as skin and paint options. With ships like the Carrack, do you think they really have the firepower to do exploration on their own? Yes. I mean, there's military style. I mean, yeah, of course they do. They don't have the ability to take on a fleet by themselves. Yeah, so that's a good point. The mines that you place they'd be technically unstowed, but they did also talk about bases, and your base, although it might exist on multiple servers, only one server would have it as a interactable, editable version of it. Is your short-term memory worse than mine, or are you trying me to make me spend more money? She's getting married next year, and I didn't know. I didn't know that Sherry was getting married. I didn't know that. Maybe I did. It's not been put in my notes. To be honest, I'm not actively friends with Sherry. I've met her once and chatted to her very briefly at CitizenCon 2019. I thought she was a damn awesome person. But I've not interacted with her much. But congratulations, Sherry. Why would they invite me? They didn't even invite me. They didn't even invite me to CIG's Christmas pie. That's a funny joke that only I will know the meaning of and understand. Wouldn't even invite me to the Christmas party. Bloody. Do you think they could limit the 32 SU containers to spaceports and stations, creating a place for bulk haulers like the hulls? Yes, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons they have those cargo decks. I may not limit, but I think that's going to... a spanner in North America is a wrench or a tool. Yeah. It is a spanner. Kraken Privateer or Standard? Depends what you want. I prefer the Privateer because I'm happy to drop some of the cargo space to have for shops. It's basically, I like the idea of it being a full mobile space station, whereas the Standard Kraken is more of a service station. Yeah? You just put the raft to be able to take refined ore containers off Orion to sell. I don't know how the Orion's going to deal with its ejected, if it can indeed eject, its ejected ore. So maybe. Does mod status mean I can ban people from the game? No, you can ban people from my channel. I prefer you not to ban them and to be pretty reasonable with people, even if you think they're trolling, give them sort of a chance. Do you know what I mean? I want people to be able to ask the questions they want to ask. I want them to be able to lightly vent if they want to. As long as they're being relatively civil, it's fine. Give them the benefit of the doubt for the most part. Anything that's obviously, oh my god, or sort of anything that you go, nope, that seems like that would be illegal. Ban that. What's your favourite Zin quote, and why is it hello Zin? So my favourite thing that Zin does is that she will state something as fact, yeah, or something like, well, if it, my favourite one actually was, and then the opposite will happen. So we're playing Fallout 76 once, and I think it was Zin that said that rather than Kit. If it was going to explode, it would have exploded by now. And then 2 seconds later, just a nuke goes off. Takes everyone out except for me, who's standing behind just watching going, I'm scared. I'm a coward in games. But I survive. Should we gain temporary stat benefits for using illicit drugs in game? I think there will be some buffs in the future for that sort of stuff. Really appreciate your streams for the expo. Do you think folks mining with the mole... I've lost where I was. Mole will be able to drop cargo they don't want. I believe, yes, I believe that in the future, the prospector and the mole and other miners will be able to chuck out ore that they don't want. I also believe they will be able to detach ore in some way so that other ships can pick it up. Obviously, with the prospector, it has those ore bags. I'm looking at starting a Star Citizen channel. Do you have any recommendations for resources to learn about cinematic camera controls and mods and things like that? So a couple of people have made some good videos on that, like Haskaha, for example. Just YouTube, search for Star Citizen camera controls. And Maya's done a good one, but it's pretty old now. Haskaha's the one I found the most useful. My focus will be on all things Banu. And my in-game name is the Banu Merchant. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And alien stuff, Banu stuff is a great idea. What colour panties do I have on? I'm not wearing any panties. That's what you're supposed to say, isn't it? Do you expect to see the 32 SCU cargo containers available at outposts on moons? Yeah. Not all of them, but most of them, yeah. That makes sense, right? They have little cargo shipping areas. What is the most important feature to be completed for Star Citizen? All of it to come together. The core features, obviously, like server meshing. Yeah. Probably server meshing at the moment. It needs it to be an MMO. Have you ever considered to wax your head to make it shiny? I don't need to wax my head to make it shiny. Look! Say question. Yes. I've got a shiny head. I think we'll get reduced health when eating fruit in game, rather than eating fruit dehydrate. What? I'm pretty sure that some of the fruit does give you reduced health now. Robert Johnston, don't go mad with power. You prefer turkey or ham? Depends. Probably ham. In most ways. I think turkey's typically overcooked and quite dry, unless you do it perfectly. I mean, I prefer chicken to turkey, to be honest. What else have we got here? Yeah, I think the raft's alright. Alright ship. If you weren't covering Star Citizen, what would you be doing? With crypto, or selling limited models and games and collectibles on eBay, or at a larger scale, probably potentially running a board games shop or something. Something. And if I was still doing YouTube stuff, then potentially cover other games, or okay. And what rovers can fit into the Bay of the 400i? as far as I'm aware, you can only get an X1 in the front. The little front garage. I'm not sure if you can get anything else in there. I don't think you can fit anything else in there. Yeah, my head is like a lighthouse for Star Citizen. It guides you through the storm. If you were Chris Roberts for a day, would you force everyone to finish Squadron 42? What do you think? What? No! Why do I force them to finish it? I want them to make it in a timely manner. I mean, obviously, it's been quite a while. What I'd do is, if I was Chris Roberts for a day, I'd firstly send a load of money to me when I come back to being me afterwards. That's actually the main stuff I would do. Which Imperator did you vote for last year? It was Lilani Anderson, yes. What time does the XO change? 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll tell you what, because I love you all so much, I'll go get a drink now. And then we'll watch. We'll have a quick look on the website when the Odyssey becomes live. Yeah? That's what you want to see. We'll have a quick look at the website. Yeah. So bear with me 1 second. Turn the music up a little bit more. Nope, that's the wrong one. A nice little heated blanket warming me up. No, my slippers! Gonna go get a drink. I'll be a couple of minutes. Gonna check on my mother. Then. Back. Got a cup of tea. Hi. How's it going? It's actually, I was going to show you this, but the Nubifier sends me random stuff quite often. Well, at least he used to. And he's just sent me a lovely Nubifier logo. So I've got some other stuff that he's done for me previously. He likes 3D printing, and he wants to send me some, obviously, corporate spam. No, so me and him might be doing some stuff together again soon. We've been talking about things. Is the new Whitley's Guide video up as well? Oh, let's go to the website. You can see what I'm seeing. Refresh this bad boy. Actually, I say refresh. Let's do this. Not refresh at all. No, you can. No, that's fine. Find my own way here. It's day 9 of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. It is MISC Day. Oh! It's got what? The Drake Complete Pack? What? Saying Drake here. But I don't want it to say Drake. I want it to say MISC. Is that just a bug? It was just a bug. So you got the MISC Odyssey. Effortlessly traverse the deepest reaches of space with this self-sufficient explorer. Discover new life among the stars with MISC. So there may well be a new Whitley's video as well. You do have your Endeavour. Got your Freelancer. Got your Freelancers. Got your Hull series. You've got your Prospector. You've got your Razors. I've got the Razors with MISC. Your racing ships. Got Reliance. I'm not a fan of the Reliant. Got your Starfarer. Got your Gemini as well. We've got that new... the end? Okay. So, let us... Boop.
That was some serious fun out there, eh, Jimmy? Admitting you couldn't have done it without me. I mean, the cannons on those Ares models, was that like a size 7? That is nuts. Absolutely insane. Raw power. Couldn't have put it better myself, mate. This has been an eventful IAE, to say the least. But thanks to Jimmy here, I've been reminded of why I started doing all of this in the first place. At the end of the day, it's all about the ships. So here are some highlights of intergalactic aerospace expos, past and present.
Music.
Haha, it's a pirate's night for me, here at the Drake Pavilion. Just don't tell Jan Dredge. Play, here we go. Oh, what's this do? Oh, holy now, what's with this front wheel axle? And the fixed maneuvering thrusters really come through the clutch. See what I mean? And once you figure out the floaty stairs, the Car2 Arl absolutely sings in more ways than just Sharn.
I love the idea of these being
We've
really
loaded
old
up
ones.
this Argo raft with several cases of Bondurant Vaisseau Blanc de Blanc Reserve.
Blanc de Blanc.
That's right, 2 crates of sparkling wine worth more than my penthouse in Castor Point. Ridiculous? Certainly. Now, I was always terrible at this. Nailed it.
I can't find the limit! Apology accepted!
So yeah, some of these are ones we've actually seen before, and some of these are new.
Jimmy? You okay, lad? What's this?
Looking good, Jim.
How old are you in this?
Now go pose for a picture with your hero, Jack.
Wow.
Face me. Smile. Say freelancer. Brilliant. Look at that.
Damn it, Jimmy. That warms my heart. Makes me feel old as hell, but it warms my heart nonetheless. You're a good kid, Jimmy. You make me proud. Let's get out of here before they kick us out. Let's go and see what the hubbub's about.
That was a janky bag transition. Thanks for the donation because of my chair, Robert Johnston. The chair's the best bit.
Dare to fly. I think I still need to do some serious soul searching, Jimmy. There it is. The Odyssey. This ship is something else, huh? I mean, supposedly it basically becomes your own personal space station. Imagine just taking this thing out as far as you can, dropping anchor and just living. I mean, that's it, Jimmy. The Whitley's just got their hands on an Odyssey prototype. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I borrowed it, you know, for a little sabbatical someplace. I don't know, like the Biro system. Yeah, or someplace like that. I mean, someplace where no one will bother me. I need to get my head straight before next season. If I even make it back, that is. Okay, everything is looking good.
Maybe a little bit of the concept.
This is it.
I'll miss you too, Jimmy.
But don't wait up for me, mate.
Not very silhouetted. Oh. Okay, so let's actually have a look at that Odyssey then. Bam. So. Okay, it's pretty big. It's bigger than I thought. 252 SCU, weapons and shields, remote turrets, size 5 guns. Okay, it's big old hangar. Onboard hangar accommodates small ships, perfect for scouting or recon. Maybe. Got a medical bay. Tier 2. Oof. Okay, so CIG are trying to make a big push for sales. The Odyssey is remarkably self-sufficient thanks to a fully integrated remote mining arm and tractor beam, extracting quantum and transferring into quantum fuel with the ship's inbuilt refinery, meaning you will never miss a jump again. So yeah, the idea there is that it's super self-sufficient. You can just go out and just stay out. You've got a respawn point on it as well. Okay. Onboard refinery, the Odyssey is hard pressed to run out of fuel, even in the deepest corners of untamed space. Thanks to its fully integrated refinery, gas captured by the ship's intakes is automatically converted into hydrogen fuel, while mined quantum is refined into quantum fuel. Extend your expeditions. It's got its gravity generator, got a refinery, it's got a main elevator, got engines. It's the after deck. So is the after deck on top? Is that on bottom? It's going to be on top, isn't it? The after deck? I'd call it top or upper deck, right? Got a bridge. We've got the remote station for some of its turrets. 3 times size 5 turrets. So, okay, there's 3 stations there for size 5 turrets. Okay, that makes sense. Component access, cool. Escape pods. Crew quarters for 6. So it is a 6 crew ship. A mess hall. Might even be more if there's captains as well, but 6 crew at least. 3 decks, elevator. Docking collar. Docking collar small, docking collar large. Locker room for your personal stuffs. And you've got the hangar deck. So you've got the mining section. The mining system. Got the medical thing with the tier 2 medical bay, allowing you to treat a lot of injuries and respawn there. At least at the moment. Cargo ramp, vehicle ramp. Cool. Main elevator again. Cargo and vehicle bay store. Ground vehicles or up to 252 SCU. Then we've got a ship hangar. So there's a lot going on with that in a viewing room. Oh, okay, just a nice place to look out on. We still don't know how much this ship is. Well, at least I don't yet. So, medical area. Look, moderate amount of firepower. Okay. And liking the idea of it. Is Carrack still Bay? That's the... Like... I always thought the Carrack was going to be able to refine its fuel on the go somehow as well. Quantum. I'm hoping that we... Oh! She's expensive! So... Was that... how much is that? That $600? No. So I've got VAT, 20% added there. 150. 625. It is 625. So it's available from $625. I think that's pretty expensive. And obviously, if you get the Odyssey Discovery Pack or anything like that, all the ships there will come with lifetime insurance. And you can upgrade to an Odyssey now. So, on this account, what's my biggest ship on this? Oh, do we upgrade? Which is actually only $75, but then I've got to pay VAT. So people say it costs more than the Orion. Yes, but the Orion hasn't gone up suitably in price yet. So when the Orion's done, expect it to be closer to like $800, in my opinion. Carrack's obviously released. Merchantman, again, I think will go up quite a lot. 750 at least, up to maybe 1,000. Odyssey's an interesting place. Because effectively, it's directly competing with the Carrack. And it puts it in an interesting place. So I'm going to refresh the ship matrix. And we're going to find a Carrack. Wherever the Carrack may be. Address. I'm going to go right past the Carrack. I'm like, no, I'm not. There's the Carrack. And then we should have the Odyssey. So, the Odyssey is larger than the Carrack by a reasonable margin. It's not like hugely larger than it. The Carrack does have cargo pods, though, over the sort of way the Odyssey is doing its cargo. Sort of bear that in mind. Both kind of 6-person crews for the ships. So, interesting, because they're both basically expedition ships. And we need to work out how they compare, really. Don't we? Like, because the difference is going to be in like how good they are at mapping and exploring in certain different ways. So is the Carrack more going to be able to scan down stuff better, whereas the Odyssey might be more self-sufficient. It's a great multi-role ship as well with the Odyssey. Very expensive though. Thinking about large components for both. The Carrack's got more component redundancy and more components. The turrets are size 5, or is it size 4 weapons on the size 5 thing? It's got a tracked beam and mining laser, though. Interesting, isn't it? Like, does that mean that the Carrack's not going to be as long range as I expected it to be because it can't refine its own fuel, its own quantum fuel? It's really interesting. Yeah. That's something.
So I decided to use this.
So tomorrow we've got the next day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which is sort of best in show day tomorrow. So you'll see so if you have a best in show ship like the 400i or the Hercules C2 or the Cargo Argo, then you're going to get the best in show skins for those ships. I'm liking the look of the Odyssey. I didn't think though it's going to be such a direct competitor to the Carrack. Do you know what I mean? And now it leaves me with loads of questions about the Carrack. But it's on concept, and we don't know when it's actually going to be in-game yet. Mr. Odyssey is being offered as first time as a limited concept pledge. I'm interested to know if people are going to be trying to get one themselves. If you are a concierge member, you can grab the ship with a free Windrunner paint as well, so bear that in mind. Otherwise you have to pay money for it later. Skin. Give me customization anyway. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of being able to run sort of any medium ship that I want in it. So you can obviously see that it's implying the Sabre will nice and easily fit. So yeah. It is bigger than the Carrack, yes. Does it come with a small shuttle? It didn't. I don't believe it comes with anything as standard. I don't believe it comes with a vehicle or a ship as standard. You outfit it as you want. Leave that up there while I'm reading comments. Yeah, it's concept, very much concept. Quite expensive for a concept ship, that is true. The newer ships they concept are a lot more expensive. Do you think the Carrack gameplay package will be up for a while? I don't know. I would expect it to be up until the 1st of December, though. Yeah, the Carrack is a not decommissioned military, but it's a civilian version of the Carrack available. I really like the idea of it. I need to be digging into it. It brings up so many questions about the Carrack, though. It's an exploration ship rather than a combat ship. It's got solid combat abilities as well. And you say it might be unpredictable on certain sides, but you do have the ability to carry a ship or ships with it. Other questions I can answer quick. I'm going to dash off in a minute and do a video on this. Is my plan. Yeah, it's got the mining and tracked beam and refinery. This or Polaris depends what you want to do. The Odyssey is going to have a lot longer range than the Polaris. Do you want a torpedo corvette, a proper ship of war? You want the Polaris. If you want something that's a bit more multi-role and going to give you expedition and sort of have more utility, then potentially the Odyssey. You get a loaner with it. Yes. Do I know what that loner is? Bear with me. Loner matrix. Been updated 21 minutes ago, so odd. Carrack and the Reliant Core. Interesting choice of the Reliant Core, but I suppose it allows you to use it in Vandal Swarm. Yeah. The Carrack and the Reliant Core as a loner. It looks like the hangar can drop out of the bottom and lift up the roof. I know there's like a ramp and stuff going on there. Have a look. Have a look. You've obviously got the ramp there. Big old ramp. I'm assuming it just opens up. I'm assuming that the roof opens up, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, yeah, it looks... Oh, I see what you mean. Does the... Huh. It's possible the floor comes all the way up as well. Like the 890 jump. Okay. I don't know. It's in concept as well, so it's harder to tell. Yeah, cool.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Oh my god, I can't say your name at all. Bida Ming. I'm sorry, I don't know how your name works. I'm dyslexic and I've never seen those letters in that arrangement before. Apologise. Thank you very much for subbing though. I'm the worst.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Alwalk. Thank you very much. Again, Alwalk. Again, letters in an order that should not be ordered in my head. Never seen before. Never known by humankind before. So in a second, I'm going to dash off and I'm going to do a video on the Odyssey and a video on the day 9 of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Because I think that's cool. I was not expecting Odyssey to be this, to be honest. So that's an interesting thing. So it's a weird one. But yeah, what do people think? Do people liking the Odyssey? Like the idea of it? It's got yours for 500 up, but cleverly jumping around. Yeah. This channel does appreciate all viewers. That's correct, Sketch Therapy. I love you, Sketch Therapy, and Summer Yeti, and Jay Bird, and I suppose now Robert Johnston. You also get some love because you're a mod now. Share my love equally between you all. The other white meat is the Odyssey. I really like the Odyssey. I think it suits me better than the Carrack. Oh, I think they're going to get a lot of sales today from Z Wales. But yeah, and let's see who else is actually around and streaming. Because I will leave you with someone else in a second. Boop, 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 boo. Subliminal or Croncy. Maya's on as well. Who do you want? Sub is live. Yeah, I'll put Subliminal on. Get the first person. No problem. Flash raid. Bam. Nice. The problem is I love them all. I love Croncy, I love Maya, I love Subliminal. They're all good people. But feel free to go and watch any of those on Twitch. Give them some love. Thanks so much for watching me today. I'm going to jump in to do some videos quick, and you'll see them updated to my channel. I will also start to make the live streams live after the fact again. I think it was suggested that we should make them live to people that are channel members or Patreons. Maybe that'll be a thing. I just think probably make them live to everyone. I'll talk to Zin about it. That there are some things that affect metrics by making them live, because they're quite long videos that don't necessarily get a huge amount of viewers. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching today. Hope you enjoy the content or enjoyed today or got some questions answered or whatever. If you'd like to get hold of me at any point, you can get me at rich@boredgamer.co.uk and just drop me an email. You can go on my Discord, discord.gg/boredgamer. And yeah, feel free to message me or peg me or whatever. Thank you so much for the donations and the subscriptions and the love. Love you guys loads. You take care. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I don't know if I'm going to get a carrack. Well, no, I've got a carrack. I think I've got multiple carracks. I have 2 carracks. I can turn one of them into an Odyssey. We can ram them into each